Agut Voch Raboisai. It doesn't go. Today's shir is sponsored by Mark Aschkenasy in honor of all the MDYers working hard to plant siyumim in RBS, London, New York, Miami, Chicago, Los Angeles. Make sure to use the links being posted in your local WhatsApp groups to sign up. Wow. I just got this as I was walking out the door. I love this email, so I printed it. Even though I have all these to read, I like this one. This one is from a 14-year-old in South Africa. Dear Reb Eli, Shavua Tov. My name is Eli Bernstein, and I'm 14 years old. Started listening to your shir from Succah. I'm really enjoying it. I go to shul early with my father in the morning, and he tells me the main points so that I can understand your shir when I watch it later in the day with my grandfather. I look forward to watching it every morning, and I love your sense of humor. I just want to ask you, this Shabbos I got called up to the Torah for Misha Berach. I wanted to bless you, but I didn't know your Hebrew name. You know, in Farakaway, the Gabbai, I never met the guy. He called me up without asking me my name. He figured, I don't know, maybe he heard in a shir or something. My father just said my name. My name is Elio ben Yaakov. That's true. Oh my gosh, I forgot. Wow, that was good. Menachem Ater reminded me my father's real name. His name is Yaakov David. Oh my gosh. Oh wow, that's embarrassing. Do not edit. Busha is good for Rosh Hashanah. Elio ben Reb Yaakov David. Very good. Okay. So please, can you send me a Hebrew name for next time? Thank you. I love it for your lovely shiur. Regards, Eli Bernstein from Cape Town, South Africa. Zalman Silver. I just want to thank you so much for the daily stream. I watch daily on all Daf app. I'm really looking forward to it daily. It's giving me a real enjoyment in my day. I've never loved learning the Daf as much as I do now with your shir. Hashem should give you koyach, amen, and will to continue. At BS Mashiach Hatzlacha Koyach. What is going on over here? There's a lot of stuff going on. Whoa, slow down. From David Wexelman. A whole arichas here, but bottom line is yishkach for the email. And for 10 years I traveled the world healing religious Jews from anxiety, depression, visual stimulus in Lakewood. Hundreds of clients. David Wexelman. By Yisrael Alperin. Where is he? Where's Yisrael? Anybody see him? Miami? Yeah. I'd like to comment on the Nanuim shaking on the Lulav and Esrog that we learned a few dapim ago when I was in Yeshiva in New Haven, Connecticut in third grade. The Rebbe, Rabbi Schulkraut, taught us to shake the Lulav and Esrog in 6 directions, 3 times in each direction. Always bring the Lulav and Esrog back to your heart. Keep in mind that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is always in your heart and mind. That way you don't shake the guts out of the Lulav by shaking so hard. By Elchanan. This is Chanan Birenbaum. Dear, it was nice to meet you in Chicago in the beginning of August. You are super nice in person. You are such a nice guy. And it was such an honor and pleasure being able to attend your classes live. I hope to be able to do it again. One thing I forgot to mention. Basically, he got into a car accident and he believes that the reason why he walked out unscathed is because of his learning of the daf. That's what he decided. So thankful for being started each day by listening to the shir, 45-minute commute from Brooklyn to Queens. May Hashem bless you with arichas yomim. May He bless you with good health, happiness, atzlach, and most importantly, ksiv chasim toiva el chanan. Okay, fine, that's enough for today. And from Mordechai Sapaznik, since it only befit, he bought us the printer, the giant printer that's in my house. So he made this for the shir. If anybody wants to hang this up, it's Ushpizin. Of course, if you check out the G'daylim, there's a lot of great G'daylim in this one. And the shir as well. Mazel Tov, Siyum Sukkah. Great.
If you could give a shout out with the guys in America to make a blow-up picture of you for our sukkahs.
I should do that? Then they're going to have to come up with a book this big. Guy with the Leo. No, thank you. You do it. I'll pretend I am Moicha. Yeah. Harry Shalom. Unbelievable. Yes. And the island still thinks I paid for those bus things. It's unbelievable. All right, here, where are we? We're holding in the middle of a beautiful sugya. Rabbi said today's daf is daf Nun Beis. And it's very appropriate for Slichas tonight. We're even going to be talking about Tkiyas Shofar today. It's unbelievable how it all fits in here. So holding 7 lines from the bottom, B'motzai Yontav, Nun Aleph Amud Beis on the bottom. So there was a Motzei Yontav. Everybody got together, and the women came to the Beis Hamikdash, and they did a Tikkun Gadol, a great fix. My Tikkun Gadol. Omar Rebbe Lazar Bois, Ka'isa Sheshoninu, like we learned. Chalaka Isa B'Rishoina, the Ezras Nashim, I should have brought it, that we have a big thing here, but we'll show it like this. This is how it almost was in the beginning. You see these things jotting out here? That was added at a later time, says the Gemara. Chalaka Isa B'Rishoina, V'kifug, Zustara. They put out these little pieces of wood or whatever they are. And then on top of that, they put these planks of wood. It's interesting that the Rashi in my Gemara, he says in French, planks. But other Gemaras have a different word there. I don't know what. But I don't know where he got. My Gemara has planks. Pei, Lamed, Nun, Kuf, Sin, planks. But there are planks of wood that go down. And they would remove them. Every Yontav, they would remove them. They just needed it for the Ezras Nashim. And why do they do this? So the women sat in the balcony up there, and the men were down below. Tana Rabbanan, the Gemara explains. To start out with, the women were inside the Ezras Nashim. It was a once a year thing for that week. That's why it says it. But they did other things in this Azar over here. But it's called Ezras Nashim because that's where they were. In the beginning, they were over here. The Anoshim Mebachutz, and the men were completely outside of the Beis Hamikdash, in the Chel, in the whole Harabayas. Vayubayim l'dei kalos roish. Nothing has changed. There's Taivas, there's Yetzahara, and things got out of control. So they decided that the women should be outside and the men inside. So in the beginning, the men would go inside, and now the men would come outside, which is it might be a little more interesting and difficult. Why are you leaving? We know what you're doing. They didn't care. So then they decided the women are going to sit up here on the balcony. Doesn't seem like a whole lot of room up there, but they came. So, as I mentioned, Ramosha Feinstein says over here that you see that it's important for women to come to shul, to participate, to be part of it. Don't say, okay, since they're troublemakers and they're causing a lot of trouble and zaytzaras, so they should stay home maybe. No. We want them to come, we want them to participate, but we want to do it in a kosher way. So this idea of a mechitza and an Ezras Nashim dates back to the Beis Hamikdash. And it's called a Tikkun Gadol, a great fix. But how could they possibly build anything in a Beis Hamikdash? V'ksiv hakol b'chsav miyad Hashem olai hiskil. Hakol b'chsav miyad Hashem olai hiskil. Shlomo Lalezarian said, I got everything b'nevuah from the Nevi'im, Zechariah. I'm sorry, not Zechariah, but whoever was over there, God, Achayza. And it's exact. The Beis Hamikdash is exact. You can't just build and make additions and do what you want. Rav, Kroash, Kuchu, Darush. They got it from a pasuk. They got a header from a pasuk. Says the Gemara Daf Yomi, Amud Aleph on top. V'safta haaretz mishpachos levad. This is talking about in the future, in the time of Mashiach. There's going to be a hesped, and the Gemara is going to explain what. Eulogy. How do they do it? Mishpachas bizdavid levad u'neshem levad. They separated the men and the women, and this is la'asad lavai. Amru v'aloi dvarim kal v'chaymer. You can make a kal v'chaymer. U'ma la'asad lavai sha'asukim behesped. Two things are going on here. First of all, the middle of a tzara g'dayla. There's a tremendous tzar going on, and when there's a tzar, the Yitzhar doesn't play a role. And ve'ein Yitzhar shayil b'hem. It's la'asad lavai. The Yitzhar is gone. He's shechted. He's dead. Yet, it's interesting because Reb Sol Salanter says, if you think about it, what's a Yetzer Hara? What is the Yetzer Hara? Is the Yetzer Hara a natural, instinctive thing, and we have to control that instinct? Or is the Yetzer Hara more like a ruchni thing, like a malach that Kadosh Baruch Hu puts in us to throw us off? Because we have our basic needs. You have the need to eat, the need to procreate, whatever, all the needs that are natural. Is that a Yetzer Hara or it's something else? So he says it's both. It's both. And from here, from this Gemara, you see this idea. Because the Yetzer Hara was shechted, yet there's something that remains. There's still some sort of taiva, even without the Yetzer Hara at all. But the Yetzer Hara adds to it. He pushes a person to Yisurim, etc. There's no Yetzer Hara, and they're in the middle of a levaya. Who's thinking about anything? Yet you have to separate the men from the women. Achshav, shasukim b'simcha. Now you're in Simchas Beis Sheva. You're dancing, you're partying away like a wedding. The Yetzer Hara shayil b'hem, and the Yetzer Hara is still alive and well. So you have the two things going against you. Alex kama. Certainly, you have to be careful. I'm just pointing out that in time of the Hesped, Lasalava, you still have to separate men from women, but the Yetzer Hara is not there. But still, there's the natural desire. Hi, Speda, Mayavite. What was going on here? What's the Hesped? What's the story? So, this is machlokes really. Is Mashiach ben Yosef for sure going to die? Okay, but let's assume he's going to die. So there's two Mashiachs. There's the Mashiach ben Yosef. He's the first Mashiach, comes, sets us up, gets us going, builds the Beis HaMikdash, and then he's going to die. So Klal Yisrael is going to be maspidim. And then comes Mashiach ben David. The reason why they were crying is because the Yetzer Hara was killed. So the obvious question is, why is that something to cry about? I can understand. The Mashiach, the savior of Klal Yisrael, he dies. It's like they were eulogizing him, they masped him like a person lost his only son. Why would he make a husband? Simcha b'olam eved, should make a big suda. Amay Voch. Says the Gemara, is going to bring the Yetzer Hara. He's going to shech the Yetzer Hara right in front of everybody. This is a line that has so many people say so many different things that I'm actually confused. The tzaddikim look at this Yetzer Hara that's shechted and they perceive him as a tremendous mountain. And the Rishayim look at him at the Yetzer Hara and they see a hair strand. Halalu boichin, v'halalu boichin, and everybody's crying. So what's the truth? Is the Yetzer Hara a mountain? Is the Yetzer Hara a hair? Truth is that he's both. So I once heard from Rabbi Yaakovson, who said in my house, here the Rabbi Yaakovson from Ramat Bet Shemesh, he said that life is a mountain. You have to get to the top of the mountain, Mount Everest. You have to get to the top. But you don't jump to the top. It's small steps. You have to break the Chut HaSaira. Every day you have to break a small hair. And that's how you constantly climb. So the Yetzer Hara is betzim a hair. And you look at it at the end and you say, look what I accomplished. I got to the top of the mountain. It's like Daf Yomi, right? There's 2,711 daf. If you look at it like that, it's wow. Every day we do one daf, one Chut HaSaira, and then another Chut HaSaira. And then you look at that and you say, wow. The Mashal says they cry because that's it, it's all over. Once he's shechted, you can't accomplish anything anymore. You don't get schar for breaking it. Okay, let's see a little bit more. Tzaddikim cry and they say, can't believe, how were we able to do it? In other words, we needed Hashem's help. What's wrong with us? How do we not overcome this? It's nothing. So here you see l'chayr that it's both, because even HaKadosh Baruch Hu wonders kavayachal. Shenema koyam Hashem tzavakos ki yipala be'einai she'er yisham hazeh bayom haim gam be'einai yipala. In my eyes, I'm also wondering why are you so concerned by it? Why are you not? Omer Rabasi Yitzhahara b'tchila doime l'chod shel buchya. I think it's obvious. We see this all the time. A person has an addiction. Let's say addicted to alcohol, cigarettes, whatever it is, other things. So we know the first time not to smoke that first cigarette, not to take the first cup of alcohol after he broke his addiction, let's say. The first time. It's not that hard. It's like the how do you say it in English? A spider web, the one string of a spider. How do you say that? A strand of a spider. Strand of a spider. It's not that bad. But if you're not misgaber on that strand of a spider, you take that one cigarette, that's it, you're done. Now you're addicted to cigarettes again. Once you take that one, it seems impossible to overcome the taiva. So the trick is not to bring yourself to that one strand of the spider. Don't break that spider. Don't break that little thing. You think, it's only one cigarette. I've heard it in my lifetime 100 times at least from my friends. You stop smoking for 2 years. I'm just going to take one cigarette. That's it. That's the nefila, that one cigarette. That one whatever. All right. This is what the Gemara is saying. In the beginning, the Yitzhahara seems like just a very thin strand of a spider. Like the massive rope that you tie the bull to the machresha, to the plow. So it needs to be if you don't have metal, you take a serious rope. But that's the difficulty in all averas, in all addictions. Shenemar hoy moishchei ha'avoin b'chavli hashod b'chavois ha'agola chato. That's it. I'm just thinking now. So the same thing, it should be fakert. You do a little bit of a mitzvah, and Be'ezer Hashem becomes like a voices ha'agala. You cannot break. You have a seder, you do it for 2-3 months, and that's it. It's for life, Be'ezer Hashem. Tanu Rabbana. Mashiach ben David she'asal li'yigalos b'mehera b'yameinu. I love this lashon. You're supposed to say Amen. Mashiach ben David she'asal li'yigalos. He's gonna come and redeem us b'mehera b'yameinu. The Gemara gives us a bracha. Omer HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Sha'al mimeni davar ve'etein l'cha. Ask me for one thing, like a genie. Ask me one thing, anything you want. Shenemar asapra el chayk. Should be a chayk in your memory. Ani hayoim yilaticha. I want to tell everybody that I birthed you. You're my son. Sha'al mimeni ve'etno goyim nachlasecha. Ask me, I'll give it to you. So, by the way, people use this right here as the makar, that if a person has a birthday, he has the ability to give a bracha. Ask me anything, and I'll give it to you. So, he's talking to Mashiach ben David, and he noticed Mashiach ben David already sees what happened to the Mashiach right before him. Shenerag, he died. All I need gesund, I need life, I don't need money, I don't want anything, I just want to live. Life. Don't worry about it. You already got it from David, your forefather, and you're okay. The Yitzhahara has 7 names, like Baruch Hu calls him evil, Shenemar, Ki Yitzer Leiv Ha'adam, Raminura, Moshe Karoi Arel. He's Arel, he needs a bris, you need to chop part of him off. Shenemar, Maltem is Arlas Levavchem, double Lashon. He has 2 hearts, and you have to be, has to be Nimo. Davik Karoi Tamei. Shenemar Leiv Tar Brarli Kim. We have any singers there? Anybody? Menachem Ateh, you want to sing? Brava. Ruach nochoi chadesh b'kirbi Hayad ashlichem eini mi'ilvanecha Ruach kodshelo al tikav mimeni Shkoyach. Shnemar. Leiv tahar beroli Elokim. Miklal dikatame. Because Baruch Hu created a heart that's tar. So it's mashma that there's also tame. He got the tar, but there's also tame. Shlomo Kroi soine. He's an enemy. Shnemar imroiv soinacha. If your enemy is hungry, hachileu lechem. Lachem. What do? What's lachem? Torah. But there's two types of Torah. We'll see. Vim tzameh, and if he's thirsty, ashkeu mayim, and mayim is also Torah. This is the Torah of a mechamtish Torah, of a war. Okay. So if your enemy is hungry and he wants you to sin, give him Torah, learn Torah. You have coals that you're mixing up on his head. V'Hashem yishalem lach. Al tikri yishalem lach, elo yashlimenu lach. So look at Rashi for a second. If you can see Rashi, yashlimenu lach, I thought it's a gevaldik lashon here. He says, she is shalom yisracha imcha, if you make peace with your yetzer, v'yahavcha, and he loves you. If you could deal with him and figure him out, at the end he's going to come to love you, Rashi says. Yashlimenu, they're not just going to make like a Cold War peace kind of thing. Vayavcha, he's going to love you, and he's not going to make you sin. Interesting. Yishaya kroi michshol. He's a stumbling block. Shenemar soilu panu dorech. Harivu michshol miderechami. Yecheskel kroi even. He's a stone. Shenemar vasirosi leiv es leiv ha'even mipsarchem. He's a stone. V'nasati lachem leiv basar. Take away the even, the stone, and I gave you leiv basar. Yoel kroi tzfaini. Tzfaini is hidden. He hides, and then he pounces. Shenemar v'esat tzfaini archik ma'aleichem. Tanu rabbana. So now the Gemara goes into a beautiful story because of this tzfaini. You call him tzfaini, he's hidden. V'esat tzfaini archik ma'aleichem ze yitzahara. Shetzafim v'ayim b'libis shal adam. He hides within the heart of a man. V'yidachti v'le'ertzia u'shmama l'makoim she'im b'nei adam mitzuyim l'zgaris b'hem. Put him in a place where people are not there. Is panav elayom akadmaini shenasan eino b'mikdash rishayim v'chrivai. This yitzahara. He destroyed the first Beis Hamikdash, Vari Tamid Chacham Shabai, and he killed Tamid Chacham. And at the end, he destroyed the second one. Vari Tamid Chacham Shabai, Va'ala Va'ashai, and the smell, terrible smell. Is that where the word comes from? Nachem, Va'ashai. The what is it called? Buash. The truck comes from this. When in Eretz Yisrael, when there's a Hafganah, there's the protest, they bring this what?
Or also says
Yivish. Oh, that's what a skunk is called? So okay, that's where they got it from. Skunk is never knew the skunk is a buash. It's a buash truck. It's mamish nervayim. Yeah. But huh?
I don't think you've ever been there during this.
Never. I heard about it. They hang their clothes out in the yeshiva like. You put it like you can't go in, you can't walk anywhere. They have special buash clothes, I heard. We're going to Afghan, let's get the buash clothes out. So name Shal Yisrael obviously means Klal Yisrael. The enemies of Klal Yisrael is the Lashon Saginah. Kehigdal Asois. Amar Abaya. Ubetamidi Chachamim Yosim Kulam. The Yetzahara goes after Talmid Chachamim more than anybody else. And the Gemara says, Kihod Abaya Shamilahu Gavra the Kamer Lai Itza. Abaya heard somebody telling a woman, Nagdim V'neizel Burcha. Obviously, she wasn't his wife, Let's go. We have a long way to go. I need to go somewhere. You need to go. Let's get up early. Let's go out on the way. Omar Ezel Afrishinu Me Isura. It's my job to make sure that there's nothing bad going on here. Let me make sure that nothing funny. Azal Basrayu Tlasa Parsa Bagma. He followed them, he spied on them for 3 parsecs. Parshim Hadadi, they were about to split ways. Shaminu de Kohamri, and he overheard them saying, Orchin Rechiko. We have a long way to go. But Tzaftim Besima, it was such a smamish good time we had together going. Chaval, that we can't go together and continue. No, we have to split ways. That was the end of the story. I had a story that I wanted to say, but I asked people and they told me not to say it. So I'm going to say it anyway. And if it's not a good story, if I shouldn't say it, you'll let it. I'm just saying it because it's Motzei Shabbos. It's a silly story, but whatever. I was about 18 years old. It was in the summer, and I was in a store in Walmart upstate. Anybody who went upstate New York knows about the famous Walmart there. Anyway, you know about? Yeah, on the sale at Walmart. And I see a frum girl. She looked like a frum girl to me. She's hanging out with this. It looked like a guy. So I'm looking. I said, maybe she's not frum. Maybe he's not a guy. No, yarmulke, let's guy. And all of a sudden, he comes, he starts kissing her. I got to do something about this. I'm in charge. I got to do something. So I start spying on them, 3 parses from the Agam. And they go, make a left, I make a left, I come around. It just doesn't look good. All of a sudden, he's holding his hand and this. It's so I say, okay, that's it. So I walk over to them and I said like this. I figured, what am I going to say? If she's not Jewish, I'm standing like a Meshugana. So I say, are you from? So I figured if she's not Jewish, she'll say, no, my name is Stacy. I don't know what. And if she's from, she'll say, yeah. So of course she says, yeah, I'm from. Could I help you? I said, yeah, what's going on here? She said, oh, he's my father. And look, yeah, it looked like her father, Taka. He was 20 years older than her, Shaita. Okay. I just wanted to bury myself right there and then, but weiter. Are you going to take the story out? Oilam, thumbs up or thumbs down? Should we keep the story in? Keep the story in?
Take that out.
Big kanoi. Anyway, I was happy to see this Gemara. I said, okay, I made a mistake. It was the father. But if not, maybe you have to be Moichataka. I don't know. Omar Abaya. Listen, the Galadar Abaya had nothing better to do, just to walk three parsa and follow somebody in the Agam and in the riverbank and hide behind the tree and listen to what they were saying. Omar Abaya. But he's very upset. He's very distraught. Iman de Soni Li Hava. He's talking about himself, says Rashi. If my enemy had this situation, Lo have a motzi, lo ikume nafshei. I cannot believe this couple. They're not a couple, sorry. A man and a woman, they didn't belong together, and they controlled themselves. They went on their separate ways. Nothing happened. Now, obviously, they were over on yichud. You're not allowed to walk with a woman like that, but in private, whatever. I don't think that's their problem. They ask, how is Abaya allowed to? And that's 2 men and a woman. It's also a problem, but it's okay. But Abaye says, I know about myself. If that situation occurred with me, I would not stand the Nisayan. End the story. Ozal, he leaned up against the door like a person that's very bitzar. He's distraught. He's thinking to himself, why am I like that? Why can't I be Mizgaber? And this guy looked like an Amaret. He was over Yichud, but he had no problem. He went weiter. Asa Usaba. Eliyahu Hanavi comes, Tanalei, and he said to him, we have a klal. The greater a person is, the greater his Yetzer Hara is. And what's Pshat Rabbi Yisrael? Why is it like that? Because what? Because this world, like you guys are saying basically, you have to make the fight fair. It has to be a fair fight. And because he's so much greater and his Yetzer Tov is greater, so it wouldn't be fair if his Yetzer Hara was smaller, it remained the same size. His Yetzer Tov would always be misgaber. And in order for him to have the b'chira, like you're saying, the fight has to be fair. In life, there's a perfect balance between good and bad. So don't worry about it. Yes, you would have been nichshal, and he wouldn't, because your Yetzirah is greater than his. Omer Rabbi Yitzchak, Yitzroi shel adam is gabel b'chol yoim. His Yetzer gets stronger every day, all day. Shenemar. Rak, here's the pasuk, the famous pasuk. Vayar Hashem ki rabba ro'as adam bereishis ba'aretz. V'chol Yetzer machshavos liboy. His all his thoughts. Rak ra kol hayoim. Rak kol hayoim. That's it. We just turned to the Amud Beis, sponsored by the MDY Tehillim group. For all those who need Shidduchim, Refuas and Yeshuos, please join Tehillim.8mindaf.com. And by Shlomo Lalezarian from Los Angeles, in honor of Eli's wife for sacrificing her life in order for me to prepare Shir Yishkoyach. Omer B'Shem B'Lakish. Yitzri shel Adam is Gaber Allah b'chol yoim. Umevakish la'misoi. His Yetzer is interested in his death, wants him to die. He wants to. That's his interest. Now it's not a complete, like he doesn't help us completely. Otherwise there'll be no prayer again. But he gives us some help, because without his help, without some basic help, we'd be lost. In I actually had a story, I couldn't believe it. And I just came to Eretz Yisrael and I started learning Kiddushin. I don't know if I just came to Eretz Yisrael, but I started learning Kiddushin with the Daf, and I was trying to learn right here in this Beis Medrash behind us. And one of my friends came over to me, and it was Daf Lamed in Kiddushin, Amud Aleph, and he starts bothering me. So I said, I don't understand. It says in the Gemara, in Pagab b'cha menuvel zeh, this menuvel, moshchei lebeis hamedrash. Ma'aseh Shai, I'm telling you, having with him. And he laughed, whatever. I said, but it's not working. I'm trying to learn. I'm in the Beis Medrash. And I turned the page, and it's in Kiddushin Daf Lamed Amud Beis. And I didn't see it. It was like unbelievable. I said it, and fine. But here it is again. In Pagab b'cha menuvel zeh, this disgusting creature, the Yetzer Hara. It's hard to say because you don't want to be misgara by, but okay. If you bump into him, in other words, you're having a major problem with him. He's getting to you, and you don't know what to do with him. Moshcheu lebeis hamedrash, schlep him to learn the daf, and he's going to go away. Yisrael Salanter says over here that, and we know this. The Vilna Gaon says, but Yisrael Salanter says that the greatest antidote to Averis is Torah. And if a person has a certain Aveira that he's trouble with, let's say Lashon Hara, you should learn the halachas of Lashon Hara. I mean, it's obvious, kind of, but that's what he says. Moshchei lebeis hamedrash means, according to Rabbi Yisrael Salanter, learn the halachas that are negeya to you and what you're nichshal in, and what you have trouble you're struggling with. Im evenu nimoyach, if he's a stone, he will, what's the word? Melt, dissolve. Melt is good. In barzalu, mispoitzes, and if he's metal, he'll blow up. Imevenu nimoyach d'chsiv hoikol tzamelu chulamayim. So uchsiv avonim shochek umayim. The water is going to dissolve the stone. The water of Torah will break the stone. In barzalu, mispoitzes d'chsiv halei choy dvari ke'eish num Hashem uchepatish, and like a hammer, he fights it. Salah. Omer b'shmuel ben Achmeni, Omer b'yonisam. First, he trips him up in this world. Umeid, and then he comes and he testifies against him. Umeid Allah of and then there'll be manoin. And the Gemara says, Shekain ba'atbach shuribchia koirin l'sahada manoin. Okay, it sounds a little difficult. So I found this from Succah Shabbos. Actually, the one for today's daf I didn't find. I had to make it. I just want to show you real quickly. There's different secret languages in Lashon Kodesh. This one is called Achaz B'ta. It's Aleph, Ches, Samach, Beis, and these could interchange. If you want to write an Aleph, you could do a Ches or Samach, whatever. That's one. Everybody knows this one. This one is Atbash, yeah? The Aleph and the Tov. So instead of writing Aleph, you write a Tov. Instead of a Beis, you write a Shin, etc. This one is El Bam. Gan Das, it goes this way. Fine. Here's ours. This is called Atbach. Aleph Tes, Beis Ches. What's going on here? You want to make tens. So Aleph plus Tes equals 10. Beis, 2 plus 8 equals 10. 3 plus 7 equals 10, etc. But then you get to the Hey, and he's stuck all by himself. Because he doesn't have a counterpart. You can't do two Heys. Okay. That's section 1, the tens. Then you go to the hundreds. Chaf. Oops. I got the wrong one. This is had to redo it. Okay, sorry. That's the same thing. I just had a chaf and a tav on the bottom. So chaf and pay equal 20 plus 80, 100. Lamed and ayin, 30 plus 70, and mem. And then you have the nun all by himself. Great, that's the hundreds. And then you have the thousands. Kuf plus, this is tzaddik sofi, this is considered 1,000. It's 100 plus 900, 200 plus 800, 300 plus, no, this is nun sofi, 400 plus whatever. Okay, they equal 1,000 somehow. And then you have the chaf sofi, which is by himself. So the bottom line is, the hey, chaf, and nun are interchangeable because they're by themselves. Oh, so now you have the word manoin, manoin. So the mem equals samach, the nun equals hey, and let's see how that works. The mem is over here by this arrow, so the mem is samach, so it interchanges the mem and the samach. The nun, 2 times you're going to have the nun, and I don't know, I still can't figure out why, because maybe something's wrong over here, but the nun turns into a hey, and the nun sofi also turns into a hey. But I don't know, I don't understand why, because over here you have the nun sofi with the shin, it should be shin. I don't know. Maybe somebody could write into me and explain to me, maybe I have something wrong here. The point is that these 3, ha, because the nun could interchange with a, you see, nun and hey interchange. Nun, hey, and chaf could interchange. So the kids, the word manain equals sahada. Sahada means a witness. That's the whole story. So he did all this to get that in Reb Chia's secret language of Atbach, manain means a witness, and therefore he's going to witness against you. Ravuna and Rami. Ravuna asked a question. Ksiv kiruach zinunim hisa uksiv bekirbam. Is it a ruach from the outside? Is this Yetzahara external or it's internal? It's within you. B'tchila hisam. He starts out from the outside. V'lebesoy bekirbam, and then he becomes part of you. Amar Rava b'tchila karoi helach. He's just a guy walking by. V'lebesoy karoi reach. He becomes a guest. V'lebesoy karoi ish. Then he becomes you. Shenemar v'yavai heilach lish ha'ashir. This is a pasuk when David HaMelech gets a little musar for taking Batsheva. So he says, what are you doing? You're taking from the poor, a poor person, you're taking his only sheep. So it starts off helech, and then it becomes oireach. Then he became a man. Person has a small organ. If you starve that organ, then a person is satiated. Masbiyoi ro'ev. And if you keep on feeding it, gets hungry. So according to Rashi, I like Taisis Pshat, but according to Rashi, it means that if a person is Isaac with Arayas a lot, then when he's older, he loses his strength. Taisis says that the more you feed the Eitzahara and Arayas, the more he wants. If you starve him, then you can control him. Shenemar kamirosam vayizbo so v'yarim. Orav chana baracha. Amr beirav arba mischart alei makodesh baruch hu shebram. Now, like the Torah says, Yad Hashem, Af Hashem. These are mishalim. Hashem doesn't have a hand. Hashem doesn't have charata. It's a mashal. Ve'eloim. he regrets creating Golos. In other words, they don't have anything for themselves. They're just there for other people, to trip other people up. Golos, Kazdim, Yishmaelim, that we're dealing with unfortunately today. V'yetzer hara. Golos d'chsiv atom ali poinu mashem kilukach amichinam. For no reason. Golos, you took my nation for no reason. In other words, Hashem el-charat. Kazdim, d'chsiv, hein eretz kazdim ze'am, lo yahaya. Shouldn't have happened. Yishmaelim d'chsiv, yishloyu oyalim, they're people of tents, right? Yishmaelim. L'shoidim, uva tuchois, l'margizei el, l'asher hevi eloi kabi yodai. It's hard d'chsiv, asher hari oisi. Without these three psukim, Klal Yisrael will be in big trouble. In other words, these psukim help us out when we're at the din, and Hashem says, why did you sin? Look, you yourself said, I created the Yetzer Hara, I put it in you, so it's your fault, Hashem, not out. Happens to be that in tonight's slichas, this is mentioned in more or less, but it's famous on Yom Kippur night. We sing it. Fine. It doesn't say these exact. It says chomer b'yoytzer. Maybe you'll find it when you say it tonight. V'idach v'asiroisis leiva evem ibsarchem v'nesati lechem. Listen, it's not a complete excuse. It's not a great defense, but it helps us out. Without this, Hashem, you put it there. You try to trip us up. Yes, we should have been oimed in the Nisayan. We weren't, but it's your fault. So otherwise, we'd be completely erased. Right afterwards, it says, so it's your fault. Hashem showed me 4 craftsmen. What are the 4 craftsmen? Mashiach ben David and Mashiach ben Yosef, they're going to rebuild the Beis HaMikdash, rebuild Klal Yisrael. Velio, he built the Mizbeach. The Kohen Tzedek is Shem ben Cham, who helped build the Teva. Masiv Rav Sheshes. Hold on. Shem ben Noach. What did I say? It says Shem ben Noach. He helped Noach build the Teva. Says the Gemara. Mazar Rav Sheshes. So who said this? Omar Rav Chana bar Bizna. So Rav Chana said that you have Mashiach ben David, Mashiach ben Yosef. These are the builders. Ask Rav Sheshes to Rav Chana, Ihachi, Hayne d'chsiv, Hayem Eli Elah Kronos Asher Zeiru Es Yehuda. Actually, they're the ones that dispersed Klal Yisrael. They scattered Klal Yisrael. They didn't bring Klal Yisrael. They're not builders of Klal Yisrael. Hanal Shuvas, Amalei, Shapel, the Sefer the Kra. Okay, continue the pasuk. They came to scare them. The ones that are, it's 2 separate things. You have the ones that are the builders, and you have the ones, the goyim, that are going to scatter Klal Yisrael. I shouldn't have started out with Chana. When it comes to Agadata, he is a professional. Hold on. It's just all, okay. Ashur ki yavoy v'artzenu v'chi yidrech b'armenesenu v'akemoinu olav shiva royim, 7 shepherds u'shmoina nesichei adam. Maninu shiva royim, who are the 7 shepherds of Klal Yisrael? So you have David be'emtzai, smack in the middle. Adam, Sheis, u'musushelach, mi'iminoi, to the right of him you have Adam, Sheis, u'musushelach. Avram, Yaakov, u'Moshe b'smoila. And you have Avram, Yaakov, and Moshe on the left. What happened to Yitzchak? Say Yitzchak went to save Klal Yisrael. We learned in Masechet Shabbos, Daf Peites, I think it was, that Yitzchak, he made this whole argument like HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You take them and this, and my whole half a life, this whole argument that he had with him. So he's the lawyer for Klal Yisrael. He saved Klal Yisrael. Uman niu shmoyne sichi adam, Yishai, B'Shol, Ushmuel, Amos, Utzefanya, Tzidkiya, something got Tzidkiya, and they put Chizkiya, Umashiach, Ve'Eliyahu. Arba Sulamois. All right, so now we're back to the Mishnah with the Simchas Beis She'eva, and there were 4 lamps with oil, and there was a tremendous amount of light in Yerushalayim. Tana Gava Shel Menorah Chamishim Amma was 50 amma tall, approximately 100 feet tall. Rashi says on the Mishnah, Bachurim. Where did Rashi get it from? From right over here, L'chayra. Maybe there were 7-year-olds. Where did Rashi get that? They were Bachurim, like 18-year-old kids. So the Gemara says, Ibaylu. May of Esrim Log Kulu. I guess you could learn from the Mishnah itself. It was 30 log. How could a kid carry 30 log? But anyway, is it 30 log or it's 120 log per kid? Look, it's 30. It says Mefurish in the Brayz at 30. Shem Kula May of Esrim Log. 4 times 30, 120. Tana, there was a Kohen, the son of Marta Bas Paisus, and he was extremely strong. He could carry 2 thighs of an ox. Imagine like a buffalo, a massive one that costs a lot of money, weighs a lot. He's able to carry 2 thighs himself. And he wasn't running, he didn't have to run, he went from his toe to his heel. We know the amount of kohanim, I think it was 24, that took up the parts of the animal up onto the mizbeach because of the idea of B'Rav Am Hadras Melech. It's better to serve Hashem with many people than one person being mighty everybody else out. In what way were they better than this Marta Bas Paisus son? It is because the weight, Hani Kir Tvei, it's not true. He carried, in terms of pounds, he carried more pounds. 2 thighs weighs more than 30 lug of oil. Ella some kevesh u'meruba v'loy zakif. He went up a ramp, and it was meruba, meaning I forgot the word. What's his name? Shmuel told me. You guys will have to tell me. The pitch to the rise to run. Rise to run was 4-1. 4 amma run, 1 amma rise. So what's the big deal? So he carried 2 thighs up a nice smooth ramp, but they had to go up a straight ladder 100 feet with 30 lug of oil. That's more difficult, says the Gemara, than what the son of Marta Bas Paisus did. They were straight, and therefore it was a lot more difficult. Have a wonderful week. Oh, you know what? Let's go 2 more lines. We'll get to the top over here. Sorry for your closing. You could hear about pets. Only 2 lines. Tana. Isha haisa bereres chitim la'ar shel beis hashayeva. There was so much light that a woman was able to sift through her chitim, her grain, to see if there's any bugs or anything with the light of the Beis Hamikdash. So let me ask you a question. Is that permitted? The light from the Beis Hamikdash is Kadosh, and it's Me'ilah. So Taisus says, it's not permitted. She didn't do it. Nobody's ever done it. It's just, she could have done it. There was so much light that you could do it, but nobody's ever done it because it's actually Me'ilah, even though it's Koil Mara. Okay. Have a wonderful week. Zayt Gezor.